Hello everybody, my name is Big Citrus and let's get into it. So I don't usually make these kinds of videos, but occasionally there will be something that catches my interest, and this situation in specific has gotten everyone talking about it. And I mainly want to talk about why I don't think the situation's going to play out the way that everyone thinks it will. If you somehow do not know by this point, one of the literal largest YouTubers on this entire platform, SSSniperwolf, did an interesting gamer move. Fellow longtime YouTuber Jacksfilms has been making a lot of videos directly targeted at SSniperwolf and her brand, basically making redundant, lazy reaction content of her own videos to prove that basically all of her videos are lazy, redundant reaction content. Jacksfilms has been on a big, anti-reaction content war recently, and we'll talk more about that later. And he decided that he was gonna go after the queen of this genre, SSniperwolf. And on October 13th, SSniperwolf posted to her 5 million Instagram followers a very interesting post where she asked, should I go visit Jacksfilms? He's about 5 minutes away from where I am. And then actually committing to it, filming and posting a video, which I'm obviously going to not show, of Jacksfilms' literal fucking house where him and his wife live. How did we get to this point? SSniperwolf has been pissed at Jacksfilms for a while because he basically made an entire third channel dedicated just to making videos to show how lazy SSniperwolf's content is. And that's basically all you need to know. She got very angry at him and wanted to talk face to face with him and definitely took it too far. Jacksfilms and his wife have been threatened. A lot of people are calling for SSniperwolf to not only be demonetized, but completely deplatformed, just straight up deleted from YouTube. She's already lost a G Fuel sponsorship, and I'm guessing she's gonna lose a lot more within the coming weeks. However, I personally am under the belief that she is going to get away with everything, and there's a lot of reasons as to why. If you like this kind of content, want to see me talk about stuff more, go ahead and check out my links in the description, and I'm just gonna get into it. In order to understand why I think SSniperwolf is ultimately gonna get away with all this, we need to look at the story of SSniperwolf and kind of just YouTube as a whole. Okay, look, I have a bit of a personal relationship to this situation because I actually grew up very close to where SSniperwolf used to live while she was starting on YouTube. It is crazy looking back on it that one of the future biggest YouTubers of all time literally was just in my ballpark, you know. SSniperwolf got famous on YouTube as being basically one of the first gamer girl YouTubers. I'm serious, she pioneered basically this entire genre. She started on YouTube back in early 2010s, back when no one had really figured out that YouTube was going to be a entirely globally dominated brand by corporations and celebrities. So back on the earlier days of YouTube, you got a lot of people that resembled more of SSniperwolf. People who were kind of just making original music, making original skits, playing video games and everything, just kind of, uploading themselves, trying to have fun and everything. I do believe that at one point SSniperwolf genuinely enjoyed doing YouTube, but I honestly have the sneaking suspicion that she has not enjoyed doing this for years. Now, starting out, a lot of people like SSniperwolf because I remember her brand was kind of, hey, look, I'm a girl who's actually good at video games, because to pass as a girl gamer on the internet back in the day, you literally just had to be a girl that played any video game, how Minecraft would do. And because of that, SSniperwolf has always had a lot of very sexist opinions thrown at her. And, that obviously is carried on to, this very day. Now, a lot of people were actually suspicious if she actually genuinely enjoyed video games, because the only thing she really mainly played was Call of Duty. And people were suspicious if she was even the one playing in her gameplay footage. People would say with her face cam on her videos that it didn't really look like she was the one actually playing. And people were saying that her boyfriend, some guy named Sausage, yes, this is his name, was actually the one playing for her. And I do find it pretty gross that a lot of these people just looked at a woman who was better at video games than them and immediately assumed that her gameplay was being made by the man that she was dating, who was also a really good gamer. That can't just be a coincidence. Yeah, and also, yeah, she's pretty. You're saying a pretty girl can't be good at video games? What's wrong with you, you sexist fuck? Oh, she actually did? That actually was true? Wow. So recently, her and this Mr. Evan Sausage guy, it was revealed a while back that they had been married for some amount of time, and now they're in the middle of a divorce, and Sausage is actually making a pretty fair amount of accusations towards her. One of those accusations being that she never basically played any video games. All the gameplay was recorded by him, and it was a marketing scheme that the two of them came up with to do big money on YouTube. They were smart enough to know that people would be significantly more interested in watching a hot girl with glasses who, you know, dropping 40 bombs on COD than some, you know, sweaty bearded fat guy. And you know, game recognized game, I gotta give them credit, it was a smart move. And they did pump out a lot of content. Now, are these accusations actually true? I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, SniperWolf has always denied this. The whole situation behind is SniperWolf actually a real gamer has always been something that, you know, did actually matter. Even on YouTube back in the day, authenticity was something that people genuinely did care about. If people thought she was completely inauthentic, a lot of people weren't gonna watch her. However, that didn't matter to a lot of her fans because, to be fair, a lot of people did just watch her because she was attractive. Which, by the way, that's not really SniperWolf's fault for, you know, manipulating her looks to get more views and everything. That's the fault of the people who were watching her. There was a really good YouTube video I remember watching and like my mind was blown by this woman named Sylvie Bot. I think the video is still up and it's called SniperWolf: The Real Journey to Top 500. SniperWolf basically made a video talking about how she like solo queued to top 500 in Overwatch back in Overwatch's heyday. And this video was basically completely exposing how that was almost fundamentally a 1000% lie, and she was actually just getting boosted by some guy she was playing with. SniperWolf had a really bad habit of getting videos copyright struck and getting them taken down, and this was a video that was subjugated to that, and it would not be the last. See, SniperWolf herself is the queen of controversy. I cannot think of a single content creator as big as her that has been under so much controversy. I remember like this big one where she got in an argument with some dudes from FaZe and everything, and was kind of getting exposed for like possibly cheating on her husband at the time, question mark. I remember she was copyright striking Scarce's videos. As you may know from old YouTube, was the flannel guy. There was a terminally ill kid who she was supposed to visit and actually blew off the visit with him, canceled it, and then went to go have an expensive dinner the same night. Also, there have been a lot of accusations that she photoshops a lot of her Instagram photos and everything, which to be fair, a lot of people do it, but she was getting more shit for it because people hated her. And I think SniperWolf one day realized that people were always going to find something wrong with what she did, which, to be fair, she did a fair amount wrong. And she just decided, you know what? Fuck it. I am just going to find a way to put the least amount of effort in and make the most amount of money on YouTube. So some years ago, she started making the dreaded React content. And yeah, she absolutely found the perfect solution to this. SniperWolf at this point was one of the biggest female content creators and even gaming content creators in general on YouTube. So she had already built up a pretty huge audience. She found some trendy buzzwords that sounded enticing enough to put in a title, would have the same thumbnail for almost every fucking video, so she could just like drag and drop it into Photoshop and have to put even less work in. She'd usually watch the video, say nothing, say like a sentence or two about the video, and then just move on to the next one. It was very good like ADHD like inducing content and everything. To be fair, she has basically been uploading on and off every day for the last few years, and regardless of what you want to say about her, that does actually take a fair amount of effort. I know you might not think sitting in a chair, you know, fucking doing your intro, doing your makeup, and then just watching some videos and barely saying anything counts as effort. But trust me, it does. Nah, to be fair, I like for research for this video, I went to go watch some of her reaction content, and I'm not gonna lie, she is not the worst React YouTuber I have ever seen. It's still pretty fucking bad because I do despise React content, but we'll admit she at least tries to be funny. Back in like 2016 era of YouTube, we had so many React YouTubers who legitimately would not say anything for minutes on end. And as someone who's had some of their videos reacted to by creators who are significantly bigger than me, I can say the whole thing that a lot of people, I've seen like Dark Viper, AU make a lot of good videos on this. When people say that reaction videos get the original video no views and it's the larger creator making the reaction content basically reaping all the rewards, it is 100% true. On any video of mine that got reacted to by a bigger content creator, I saw an increase about maybe 30 or 40 views, a spike like after that video was uploaded, and that is about it. I'm not dissing any of the people who have ever reacted to my content. I honestly think it's fine. However, I totally do understand understand why someone like Jacksfilms finds this content cancerous and poisonous. It is the laziest form of content on the entire internet, and it is one of the best ways to make money. People don't like branching out to find new content. People nowadays are very selective with what they watch and everything, and they're only going to watch the things that they know and they're familiar with. So when XQC is doing a reaction to some video on stream, people aren't really going to branch out and ever find that content on their own, but they like XQC, so they'll watch him react to things, because that's just how they feel comfortable absorbing content. That's another reason why Sniperwolf, with her huge audience, was able to even gross exponentially bigger from doing this. Like I said though, Jacksfilms honed in on her specifically, made a third channel called Jacksfilms, and has been making reaction content of her videos, just poking complete fun in it, and almost trying to copy it to an extent for basically the last year. Now, I think a year is pretty long to keep this up. He was trying to get a reaction out of her, and oh boy did that work. Now we have to get into the section of the video where I kind of talk more about what I actually think is going to happen now that we have all the information caught up. The truth is, I don't think anything is really going to happen that bad to Sniperwolf. I don't think Sniperwolf is really going to suffer any final consequences from this situation, and I'll tell you why. Sniperwolf makes YouTube a lot of fucking money. Sniperwolf is basically the golden girl of YouTube. She is the biggest female content creator on the site in terms of relevance and actual views and watch time. She has been on the platform for over a decade, and for them to permanently delete her channel is insane. Some people are saying that she committed a felony by doxing him online in the state of California, and yeah, she may have, and there may be a court case over that where perhaps Sniperwolf loses a lot. She could probably also argue in court that Jacksfilms' address was public information. In fact, hell, she even said that online already, which some people are saying was her kind of like trying to bait her fans into looking up Jacksfilms' address, which it could have been, but I'm not sure she's that malicious. I think maybe she was just a bit stupid by saying that, and it is funny now when you type in Jacksfilms, like address doxing is like one of the first things that come up on Google, so I don't know, it worked, I guess. And she could also argue he's been harassing her for a while and everything, and if it did actually become a court case, I doubt it would be resolved for years. And let's just be real, Sniperwolf has a ridiculous more amount of money as compared to Jacksfilms. So legal fees, yeah, she's probably got that covered. If they were to axe their biggest female on the platform, I think she would have had to do something significantly worse than doxing. I'm not trying to pick sides here, but I do think it's a little weird how some people on the internet are acting like Sniperwolf literally went to his house and shot it up. Look, was what she did really stupid and potentially really dangerous given her audience and, you know, how crazy like stan culture is on the internet? Yeah, absolutely. But does Sniperwolf really have that level of dedicated fan base? Have you ever seen Sniperwolf fan pages on Twitter and Instagram making fan cams of her? I'm not trying to like objectify a woman here, but literally the only like fan pages or like fan forums I've ever seen of Sniperwolf are just talking about like her body and everything. So I have to think a lot of her audience is a lot of like older pervy men and younger teenage boys who don't really give a shit about her doxing Jacksfilms and don't really give a shit about Jacksfilms and what he's doing to her channel in general. And I think the majority of people watching her videos are children who watch like CoComelon baby sensory videos all along, and their parents just put on whatever is considered kid friendly. If YouTube actually did something about this, I would be shocked. She actually necessarily hasn't violated anything in the terms of service. They're technically not supposed to have convicted like felons on their site, but she's not convicted. And doxing and harassment does go strictly against their terms of service, but again, she didn't do it on YouTube, she did it on Instagram, so if anything, I think she'd get her Instagram account taken down. The internet is always going to be harder on women, and because of that, bigger corporations feel like if they uplift women more and put them in higher positions of power, it makes them feel good, it makes their brand look better. I'm not trying to diss Google, you know, but the truth is that they have been doing like a complete overhaul the past like 6 or 7 years on being pro-women, pro-LGBTQ and everything, and I think that's great, genuinely. They're gonna let a lot more slide with people than if you were just the average straight white man, because they need these people for diversity in their brand. Sniperwolf being a part of a minority ethnicity and a woman, like, it would look really bad for YouTube, in my opinion, even given what she did, because YouTube has been praising this woman for a long time. She is one of their most friendly brand recognized faces. Jacksfilms has had his own problems problems with YouTube in the past, and I'm guessing that they really don't care about him because I love Jacksfilms, but he is not pulling in some Sniperwolf money. You gotta be making some really harsh and offensive content for YouTube to actually crack down on your ass if you're making that much money. I know this video might age poorly tomorrow. YouTube might actually make a huge judgment call, literally just, you know, running a one tap per channel. Sniperwolf's reputation on the internet has always been horrible. These are other people's words, not mine. People have always said that she's a total bitch to not only her fans, but her other fellow content creators, and lies just about everything and only does this for money. And I think Sniperwolf, to an extent, is very aware of her reputation, and she really doesn't care. I think the only thing that she cares about is, you know, buying another mansion in Las Vegas or something, which, you know, I go get that bag, I get it. Jacksfilms, I know, probably feels stung by all this reaction content on YouTube because YouTube never used to be like this. People with the most interesting and creative ideas and forms of marketing were usually the ones who succeeded. Just people who were trying something new. Sniperwolf, I think, is one of the few YouTubers that I think has never tried anything new. All of her skits she used to do were inspired by other YouTubers, and she became a gaming YouTuber because she saw it was a trending style. I think the main thing about the situation that interests me is the amount of people who actually think that Sniperwolf is going to lose her career over this, even if she got her YouTube channel deleted. She would just start doing streaming, move to another platform. She would either just do like some like TV ads and everything, or maybe do like some sort of like premium subscription site where she basically just posts photos from her Instagram. And also, she probably has enough money in the bank just to retire at this point. There are a million trillion ways that she will be okay. Even if YouTube did delete her channel, I imagine that they would probably have it reinstated, something would get buffed up in the courts. It would have to threaten someone's brand, and I really don't think a lot of brands care about doxing, at least not the major brands that are getting placed in the ads before Sniperwolf's videos. But right now, I think this is just something that's getting completely overblown because people fucking hate this woman and are preying on her downfall. Where do I stand? I mean, look, I get why people hate her. There are a million reasons to be mad at this woman's lazy, parasitic content. There are 100 million things in this world that you should probably be mad at and be focusing your anger towards first. I'm just purely making this for entertainment purposes, and I do kind of want to put it in perspective. Look at some of the things that content creators have done in the past, and they had gotten away with basically completely. Obviously, there was everything that Logan Paul did, and motherfucker is literally making millions of dollars right now. He wrestling in the WWE WrestleMania, making millions of dollars. Like, he is bigger. He has a legitimately huge energy drink company. Like, man is huge. He did get in some trouble for that, just like PewDiePie did with the, you know, the incident and also the other incident. They did get their reputation and their channels hit hard, but they were able to bounce back from that. I can't think of a lot of huge female YouTubers that have really had a lot bad happen to them. Miranda Sings had the whole ukulele thing, but to be fair, no one was watching her content anymore anyways. How the entertainment industry works is you can be someone like R. Kelly, pissing on little girls and locking them in basements and everything, but as long as you're still putting up bangers on the charts, you will be around. He was an active and practicing pedophile for 20 years before anything actually consequential happened to him that was final. And the only reason that happened is because no one gave a shit about R. Kelly anymore. People in the industry will protect you when they see they can make money off of you. And there is a lot of cash to be squeezed out of the cow that is Sniperwolf's channel still. And you can frame it an interesting way too. Jacksfilms drove this woman who was already being swarmed by haters on the internet, literally making videos about her every day on and off for a year, drove her to the brink of madness. All she wanted to do was have a conversation about the content he was making, and then he cried victim, and him and all of his friends on the internet are starting a witch hunt against her to get her channel taken down. I guarantee you if this goes to court, that's exactly how it's going to play out, and to a jury who doesn't really give a shit about YouTube stuff, I imagine only some people are going to see Sniperwolf's side of the story. But hey, that's just a theory. I